Hey guys, welcome to a next episode of MindTalk, a safe place where we discuss mental health. So, in this episode, I am here with a colleague of mine named Tishura. And Tishura has had her challenges battling a rare skin cancer called Dermatofibrosarcoma. And with this challenge, she has also been battling cases of depression. So, today I'm sitting here with Tishura and we're going to discuss the difference between clinical depression and bipolar depression. Thank you very much for sitting with me, Tishura.
No problem, anytime.
So, Tishura, can you tell us about your journey battling this rare type of skin cancer and how depression played a part in all of this?
Okay, no problem. So I started dealing with this rare type of skin cancer. We did not know at first that it was cancer. They thought it was just a normal bump.
Right.
But upon doing surgery, we found out that it was cancer. I battled with depression before this.
Okay.
Had my little episodes, I think the year before I found out, I had a major episode with depression. Where I went to see someone for that depressive feeling that I had.
Yeah.
I also dropped out of school. I was doing school and work at the same time.
Okay. So it was really like a really major
yes
depressive episode.
Yes, it was. But the year after, or 2 years after, I did surgery. That was before COVID.
Right.
Yes, so 2 years after I did surgery and found out everything, and then the whole battle with dealing with COVID, the cancer, and hospitals started. Based on what I've learned, I have been delinquent, I should tell you, with going to my doctors, and when it comes to like the psychology, the therapist. And I think if I was not as delinquent, I could have handled the cancer along with working and doing school and everything better. But I managed the best way that I could, which is putting off a lot of things. So yeah, that's why it didn't hit me. The depressive episodes didn't hit me as hard as that year. But I know I could have done better if I was seeking the proper help. You know?
Okay, so what was your symptoms like? Because for me, when I go through my depressive episodes, basically my mood is based on bipolar disorder. My mood change. So I come from, mostly my depressive episode comes from a high. I have a high, and then after that's when I have my hypomania. But for me, it's more active. My body's more active. I want to do stuff. But when I'm depressed, I just get a really down mood, and I isolate myself. I have negative thoughts, sometimes thoughts of suicide. What was your depressive symptoms?
So for me, I got low as well, really low. I didn't want to really talk to anybody. I tend to isolate myself from the public. Yes.
Yeah, I see that trend with a lot of people, regardless of clinical or bipolar. That's basically the trend of depression.
Yeah, isolation. I tend to with my. I want to say the only person I don't isolate is my significant other.
Okay.
So that's probably a plus. I try to let people know what's going on with me, like around me. But I know I'm in a depressive state when I don't want to do anything anymore. like school.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned before, I dropped out of school. I didn't want to do any final projects, anything. It was like very close to completing that semester, and I just didn't care. I left it, and I was like, whatever.
I know what you're talking about. I had a similar episode as well, years ago.
Yeah,
so I know who it is.
And I did suffer when I was like going through my teenage years, battling with suicidal thoughts and wanting to not deal with people. I always used to say I don't like people, but I think all that too stems from just
no, honestly, I would agree because so people would say I'm a social person, and I can be social, but at the same time I tend to be like, I have this way where I think, people just drain me, especially if I'm around a big crowd. I get drained and I'm ready to go home really quick and stuff like that. So when I tell people that I don't like people be like, what? You're very social, but that is basically depressive moods. That's when you're going through it sometimes, and people don't really understand. They just see you from one point of view.
I call it 0 to 100 real quick.
Right.
Yes, that's my attitude. 0 to 100 real quick. Like 1 minute I'm good, next minute I'm like, whatever. But I have learned to manage it.
Right.
I have learned to, see my triggers. Okay. That's something that I learned going to therapy. Knowing your triggers, writing it down, and being in tune with yourself. I'm a very self-aware person, so I know like when I start to feel a certain way, like right now with school. But no, I'm coping. It's almost done. It's not as bad, but
So how long do you think these depressive episodes last with you?
For me, it could be up to like 2 weeks, probably. Whereby I don't want to do anything and I just want to stay by myself. But sometimes what happens is I try to just get through. If I have something major to do, I just try to get through that, and then after that I'll just be like, okay, this is my breather time, and that's probably something that helps me cope or go through, still function.
Like an activity or like a project?
Yes. A project, so I will function for the moment and try to get through it, and then after that I'm just like,
you're going back to that sunken place.
Just for like a little bit.
Well, it's really good that you can do that, because a lot of people who actually suffer from depressive episodes, they do not have the ability to do anything. So that's really good that you can actually pick yourself up and push through. Right. Okay. So you said you spoke to a therapist. Did they put you on any medication or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
I don't. As I said, I was delinquent, so I do not know if it would have come to that, but I don't think so, because as you stated, I don't think it was extreme. I think that something from what you told me, there tends to be like a pattern. So if my life is very busy and I don't think I can cope, I tend to go into that depressive mode. So that's what she said, depressive episodes.
Right.
I get. So I'm not depressed all the time, but I'm depressed when I don't think there's anywhere to go.
Okay. So
like any way out of my situation.
Right. So when you meet some type of hardship in your life, you end up going into depressive episodes. Okay, I understood that. Because so you didn't see a psychiatrist? Because for me, I went straight to a psychiatrist after they spoke to me. They recommended the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist actually, based on my experiences, what I told them after they probed me, that's how they ruled out other mental illnesses. And they diagnosed me with bipolar. I actually went in there thinking it was ADHD because besides
that's what everyone tends to go to.
Because besides the depressive episodes, basically, like, I was planning to do some things. I actually wanted to, write a script or write a book. These ideas come in my head, and when it's time to actually do it, like, I'm stuck. And the psychiatrist ruled out bipolar, ADHD, sorry, because basically ADHD is hyperactivity. That's a symptom. So he asked me if I normally would go to do, like, if I would leave one thing and do another, and that wasn't really a trait of mine. But when he touched on my mood, that is where I exhibited more of bipolar disorder, because my mood will go. I could be hyperactive, but like full of energy, like an elevated mood. I can have an elevated mood, and then after I would just sunk to a depressive mood, and the depressive mood will last longer than my elevated mood. So that's how they they actually determined the type of bipolar. It was bipolar type 2, which is mostly depressive episodes. Right. So from there I was placed on medication, mood stabilizers. It's a generic medication to Zoloft. It's called sertraline, and I've been on that. The talk therapy, however, I've been delinquent, yes.
I can imagine. Delinquency runs, right?
And they actually, like, I go in there to get my medication, to get my prescription filled, but but to actually go to see the therapist, that's on a separate day. You have things to do.
I know.
So it kind of takes up a lot of time for me to, like, leave work and put school off and stuff like that to go on that. So I haven't really been so constant with therapy. But the therapy, I've been to a few sessions, and it do help. It does help. You said it helps you. For me, the idea, where I was getting, we were going, is for me to be more self-aware of my triggers. You understand? So I would know that you're starting to feel down. Don't actually take your mind, or try to get distracted, so your mind won't go to that dark place where depression actually takes you, because it's a very dark place.
Yes, it does. And something I learned in therapy, before, but my therapist reiterated it now, that 5-5-10 technique. So when you're going through little...
You mean like a bother?
Yes, like a bottle.
Inconvenience.
Yes. You breathe in for 5, hold for 5, and exhale for 10.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, it is, and I do use it, and it helps.
And it helps.
It does help. You could do it as much as you want when that trigger comes in, and it really does help.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something I learned.
All right. And did you went to the public sector or the... Yes,
I did.
So
I actually seeked it out because there was a moment in my life when I always run to therapy when things are getting bad, right? That's my problem. Like, I think I don't need it. And then when things get bad, I'm like, oh my gosh, where's the therapist? So what happened was I was going through something. I cannot remember at this point in time. But I wanted to go back by the same therapist I went to, who told me I have depressive episodes. And there was not a way I think they closed down or something like that, or moved.
Okay.
So, but I could remember they told me whilst I was there that I can go through my work.
Right.
So that's what I did. I went through
that's good.
my work. I spoke to the HR team here, and they said, yes, we have, the EAP, Employment Assistance Program, I think it is. So they assigned me a therapist. They went once. Well, didn't go. It was during COVID, so over the phone.
All right.
That was once.
Yeah.
I told my therapist, because she mentioned it to me recently, that I told her that when something serious happens, I'll call her back. So I told her, oh my gosh. So apparently that's what I told her. So this time, someone told me, hey, you going through a lot. I didn't seek her out, but someone in work was like, hey, you going through a lot. It's a lot.
Right.
So they called EAP and my therapist, of course, she says, when your name comes up in our office, I'll always call you. So she calls me and I'm like, oh,
that's good.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
it is.
A lot of organizations don't provide that type of service.
Is so
that
true.
is really good that you are fortunate enough to have something like that.
Yes.
A lot of people don't even know where to go to.
And that's the thing.
And there are facilities and outpatients in, I wouldn't say all over Trinidad, but at least every sector or borough in Trinidad has one. You know, where you can go to seek, mental health.
Mental health, because it's a big topic now.
It is.
Back when I was going through my little thing as a teenager, it was taboo to even be depressed. Like, why are you being depressed when you're a child?
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right. And I think at that young age is where we should actually be a little more vigilant about it, because it's at that age you can progress and you can go into adulthood even worse. You understand? So it's best, as you say, nip it in the bud.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
All right. So I just want to just identify the difference, because we, as speaking to you, I understand that we both shared similar similar symptoms with our depressive episodes. However, the only the difference which I want to identify is that the time frame, because for me it can go from, well, you said yours lasts about 2 weeks intervals. And my own, it can last from 2 weeks. Sometimes I could go into months.
Okay.
Like sometimes I remember there was a time where it was going on about 4 to 5 months. I was in that down, that funk. I would call it a very,
it is a funk.
That funk. 4 to 5 months, and this was before actually being diagnosed, being treated. So it was a really bad place. Thankfully that it didn't affect me to the point where I would do something detrimental, but
point of no return.
Exactly. But it was really, really, really bad. You understand? And because in that space you don't think, well, for me, you don't think anybody can help you.
True.
You don't think you can get help from the people, your loved ones, from your friends. They can't really do anything for you when you're in that mood. So that's why you isolate. That's how I felt.
Yes.
You understand?
Very true.
But yes, so we can identify the difference between clinical depression and bipolar depression. Clinical depression is like more of a short, it can go into a short time frame. But bipolar can go into a longer, at a longer span. Okay, so is there anything you'd like to ask me?
Yes, because I'm very intrigued about bipolar disorder. So what I wanted to find out from you is, when were you diagnosed and what made you go to a psychiatrist to get diagnosed?
So I was diagnosed early this year. Yes,
really?
Early this year. Yeah, it was this year. It's a very recent diagnosis.
I would never think that.
Yeah, it was a very
you carry
recent.
yourself so well.
It's a mask.
I know, because people tell me the same thing. I'm like, Thank you.
Yeah, they really think you have it all together, but
Yeah,
inside your
yeah.
brain is chaos.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been diagnosed early this year, actually in February.
Mm-hmm.
I actually seeked out treatment or medical attention.
Okay.
That was because, well, basically I just knew something was wrong. I knew
Okay.
things wasn't clicking. I knew
Yeah.
my brain wasn't functioning the way it should be functioning.
Okay.
And like I said, I really thought it was ADHD. And when I went, they proved me, the psychiatrist proved me, and actually that's how they actually diagnosed it as bipolar. The depressive episodes, well, it was a concern, especially the suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Because the place where I used to go, and I mentioned it in my last episode, it was where I spoke about suicidal ideation, where you don't really, like, okay, so you think of suicidal thoughts, however, you never put anything in action, or you don't think of a plan or anything to do that, because suicide is a spectrum, and that's what I actually learned from my psychiatrist. It's a spectrum. So suicidal ideation is, like I said, you don't really have any intent to harm yourself.
Right. You just feel like you want it to stop.
Right. Yeah. And for me, I just felt like I can disappear. Or, I can go to sleep and I didn't have to wake up. Or I can walk in the road, I would walk in the road recklessly and not really, be too aware of what was happening. And a car will come and, they will just pull any brakes up and you're like, all right, well, if it and that's basically my because I just felt like I was done. I had enough. I was tired of just existing. And because of that concern is why I actually went to because of that, with the other symptoms I was experiencing, that's actually why I went to seek medical help.
Okay. That is good, that's a little bit of self-awareness, because the fact that you saw yourself and you was like, hey, something not right, I need to go. Because that's exactly what happened with me. I was like, this time it was like, it didn't last only 2 weeks. It started to go on for longer that time. So that's why I was like, no, this is going on for way too long, longer than I'm used to. So I need to go and see what's going on and everything like that. So that's what happened.
Yeah, so
now you have me curious, like, should I go and get myself
listen,
checked?
I would advise anyone, if you think you're not okay, it wouldn't hurt. To speak to someone professionally and see what they can, maybe it may be something mild that could escalate into something bigger, and you are actually now seeing about it at this early stage, so it won't be as bad as as other people, as bad as me.
God, don't say that.
I mean, no, I actually think I'm actually doing well.
Well, you are.
Yeah, I'm actually doing well.
You are doing
very
good.
Well. One thing is that the people who are close to me, they can see something is off.
Okay.
Especially when I go into that that slight manic stage, because I wouldn't be able to sit still, and they'll ask, you on drugs or what? They could tell the difference in my moods and stuff like that. They could tell when I come near, and it's like, oh, okay, you're not in
the mood today.
You're not in the mood today, right? They could tell the difference.
Okay.
But they don't know what exactly, because I've never really discussed it with anyone.
Really?
Nah.
Oh my gosh. No, but I understand it. It's a topic that you don't go around be like, hey, let me.
Like, no, I mean, I am always willing to help or give advice or discuss my experience, but that is if it's,
needed.
Yes. Or if it's requested, or if anybody curious or anything like that, but I wouldn't just, disclose.
True.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a problem, because I think there's a lot of stigma with mental, illness, and especially like bipolar, ADHD.
Yeah.
And I think, the conversations can actually alleviate that stigma. And get people much more, normalized or desensitized to it, because they think like, bipolar, you're crazy. Even sometimes in media where I see bipolar is very extreme.
Yeah.
You understand? They don't know it's a spectrum. Bipolar disorder is a spectrum. It have different levels. People experience it in different ways. So it's not only one way you can tell if someone has bipolar disorder. But I think the conversations help a lot with that.
Okay. That's Christopher, thank you so much for having me with you on your channel. I love what you are doing with MindTalk, because everyone deserves to learn a little bit about mental health and, to get proper information. So, yeah.
Thanks very much, and I would like to commend you for being so strong on your journey. I understand, because I'm seeing you and you are very strong now. That's a very good look. So guys, that's been it. We discussed the difference between depressive episodes and bipolar disorder depressive episode. And you can listen more on Tishura's story on her web page, on her blog, which is Tiny Tura Talks.
Yes.
Right? You can also follow her Instagram.
Yes.
Tiny Tura.
Tiny Tura _talks.
Yes, and there you can see the link in her bio to her blog. Also, you can follow MindTalk TT on Instagram, where you can see teasers for upcoming episodes and also content on bipolar disorder. Okay, guys, until next time, Tishura and Chris is here saying bye.